Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Carry On Friends, the Caribbean American Experience. Well, actually, it's not really another episode. This episode you're about to hear is a little different. This is a special crossover episode of Carry On Friends and Voice Note Stories, a separate audio series I created, and I wanted to share it here in the Carry On Friends podcast feed because I think you're going to love it. This story is personal. It honors my mom, and it's something that actually happened in my life when I was graduating from high school. With Mother's Day just passing and graduation season right upon us, it's exactly the right time to share it. If you've never heard Voice Note Stories before, season 1 came out 3 years ago. It was 10 really short episodes, not more than a minute, and each one a voice note I sent to friends while I was fighting off COVID. One of my friends thought the voice notes were hilarious and convinced me to turn them into a podcast. So I did. The entire season is about 11 minutes combined, so it's a really quick and fun listen. For season 2, I had this story, The Last Party, and I didn't want to stretch it out across 9 or 10 episodes. So you're getting it all in one episode. So sit back, enjoy, and I'd love to hear what you think. It was my senior year of high school, and when they announced that the last party of the school year was coming up in 4 weeks, I was excited. Not just for me, but for my little brother who went to the same high school, just a few grades behind me, and my cousin Simone, who didn't go to the high school, so she would be getting this news late. Because in our house, we're a package deal. None of us went to parties without each other. As a matter of fact, none of us could go to parties without the other. So I reach home and bust through the door and practically run up the stairs and I just shout, Sim! They announced the last party. And of course, Sim with our energy and excitement respond.
Ray, so that's our next month, you know? We had enough time to figure out what we are wearing.
But as soon as she done talk, I had to bring her back to reality real quick. Because we know, and most Caribbean kids know that, you want to go somewhere, you have to ask your parents weeks, months in advance. So we knew we had to ask mommy from now. And so Simone knew exactly what I meant.
That's true still. Auntie don't play.
So I had to get my brother Junior in on it too. So I called to him down in the basement. Junior! And you know, little brother stay, answer me all annoyed.
What?
So I make him know the deal. It's not new, it's the usual, but I reminded him that I was asking mommy about going to the party when she come home from work. And this meant that for the next 4 weeks, we had to have everything on lock, best behavior. Nobody have to tell you to do anything. No carry out garbage, no wash up plate, no arguing, no fighting, no nothing. It's just best behaving picnic ever. And then Simone chime in to add to it.
Yeah, Junior, they make a facts to take out the garbage. You know, say them things for done.
Because we know that any little thing, if you breathe wrong, can mess up the whole permission granted situation. So that evening, when mommy come home, I go up to her, carefully, very calculated, because there was an art to asking my mother, and I would assume most Jamaican or Caribbean parents, a permission. If you'd ask too eagerly, it's an automatic no. And then if you'd ask too blasé or casual, they might get suspicious. So it's a really delicate balance between not being too over eager or too laid back, somewhere in the middle, and you're not really sure, so go based off energy. Come here to try sound respectful, but I don't want to sound too desperate, and I don't want to make it seem like I'm ready for plea a case, you understand? A delicate move. So I ask her, Mommy.
Yeah.
So right here, me pause because you want show reverence. Because if me did immediately run into the question, she probably feel like me bold face and me not come humbly. Me tell her say it's an art for asking, so I had to hold the pause before I followed through to the ask. We can go to the last party of this school year next month. If I add a little something, I just reminded her, like, Mommy, remember at the last party before I graduate from high school? Because I'm banking on being a good student too, as well. So I kind of add that. I'm not call out the grades, because grades would mean after you're supposed to go to school to get good grades. But I just a reminder that graduating from high school, I might get a blind. And per usual, the silence that followed the question felt like about 5 days pass. And during that time of silence, no shift foot, you stand up straight, respectfully waiting for her to land a verdict. And then Mommy asked.
Always wait.
She know good and well say it would have been me, Simone, and Junior, but Mommy is Mommy. And so I answered her that it will be me, Simone, and Junior. And then she followed up with this.
Wash out the plate.
So I remind her, say, yes, Mommy, Simone washed the dishes them earlier. This was her stalling tactic for process, but also for make her wait. Because she either decide or not decide. So, she did figure out what she should do. She did work out in her mind if she really wants to say yes or no. And she'll calculate the last couple months in our head and I decide if we've been on our best behavior. Or if anything in the last couple months can be used to give a verdict. But in all of this still, she not answer. I just wait for she tell me what go on. So, as with what Caribbean parents do, you ask them a question, silent, and then start do everything else but answer the question. So, I just patiently wait until a few time pass and I ask her again. So, Mommy, can we go? And then she asked some follow-up question. She wanted to know what time the party was. I had to explain that the party was in the school building, as where it always is when there's a party at school. It starts at 7 and ends at 10. Because this isn't the first time we went to a party at school. So after another long pause.
Yeah, you can go at the party, but you don't have to be good or else I go change my mind.
So after she said that, a sigh of relief. They said, thank you, Mommy. And then me run, go tell Simone and my brother Junior the good news.
What she say, my girl?
And so when I said, Mommy say yes, Simone go,
why?
You see, I know how Mommy stay. And I wasn't taking any chances. So about 2 weeks before the party, I casually checked in again, just to make sure, because there's a thing where Caribbean parents don't want you to feel like you're entitled. So I asked her, Mommy, can we still go to the last party in 2 weeks? And she simply said,
okay.
And so that was good enough for me. And then the day before the party, I asked one more time, Mommy, remember we're going to the school party tomorrow, because we still need to be clear. All right, so the day of the party, vibes all over the school because everybody is excited. So, me tell my friend them say later. So, I go home and Simone tell me say,
Daddy did say we'll drop you off at school.
So everything's set. We have a ride, boom. We have an outfit, boom. And we're ready until Mommy drop the bomb pan way.
Make sure she don't come back home by 8 o'clock.
I couldn't help myself. Me break the cardinal rule. Mommy, but the party starts at 7. Cardinal rule, me answer her back and me use a but. And so her response was swift.
No but. 8 o'clock.
So while we in the car, I drive go school, all three are in the back seat and with a whisper. And so, me say, me don't know why Mommy say fi come home 8 o'clock when the party starts 7 o'clock. And I know the first time we go a party at school. So, me couldn't understand this. So then Simone asked,
Oh boy, so what we are going to do?
And I had to admit that I didn't know. Part of me was wondering if she really serious about the 8 o'clock to come back home, because you have to understand. So we reached school, we come out of the car, and everybody was lining up to go inside because the party was in the cafeteria. At the door was my gym teacher, Miss Harriet, and my AP bio teacher, Miss Lane. They were taking tickets at the door. And so I walked in and said hello. And as I was walking into the actual cafeteria where the party was, something in my gut told me to go back and talk to them. Because these two were notorious for calling people out over the mic and embarrassing them in front of people. So I said, you know what? Let me go back. I walked up to them in my most respectful, good student voice, and I said, "Hi, Miss Lane. Hi, Miss Harriet. If my mom comes to the door, please don't announce it over the mic. Just call me to see you, okay?" If ever a time you thank God for good grades, this was the time, because they both smiled and agreed.
Okay, baby.
We got you, Carrie-Ann.
So inside the party, my brother disappeared to find Femme friend, and me and my cousin Simone hit the dance floor. This is peak 90s, so you don't know tune or rinse. We were having the time of our lives, completely lost in the music and the show off the latest dance move. Time just get away from we, until Miss Lane's voice cut through everything over the speaker.
Carrie-Ann, please see me.
I swear it was a scene straight out of the movie. All through away, me, Simone, and Junior stopped dancing at the exact time where eyes connect with us, beeline straight to the door. Me like it's a party, sweat a run down with face and all of the dancing, and heart a race, and a look of panic for our face as we made our way to the door. And there was Mommy, standing with screw face and arm full. And if looks could kill, we dead. People dead. Me hear Simone behind me whisper,
Please, Father God, please, please, please.
In my head, me say she asked too late, because that's when Mommy opened her mouth.
You don't know what time it is? After 8. I don't know come home yet. Me say, you better come home now, or you corner's dark.
No, you have to understand that's not really a question you're supposed to answer. Mommy walk off. She not even wait for we answer. She just walk off at speed. We don't look for see who's watching, because I'm sure people heard. We just wanted to get away from school as fast as possible. And Mommy was already marching way ahead of us. And then when she realized that we were keeping up speed, she stopped and turned around and said, "Come on!" In a tone that we know she mean business, she not play. So the three of us walked side by side behind her. And that's when some fool boy decide to come cat call as me they walk by, but pss, 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 yo shorty. Lord Jesus. Mommy stopped dead in her track and turn around.
No bother with that. No take time go about to no business and left them alone.
Listen, the idiot boy who when the cat call must he catch the tone in her voice. Sorry ma. Listen, people dead. So me, Simone and Junior maintain a good little distance behind her, because my mother they walk really fast. They had a move from side to side. That means that she cuss on the quarrel. In the meantime, all the way home. The whole walk, I kept thinking about how we all knew Mommy was not to be messed with. And we knew she had the potential to pull a stunt like this. But I really, really thought she'd give us a break, being that it was the last party of the school year, and for me, the very last high school party ever. I mean, which Jamaican or Caribbean kid don't have an experience like this where your parents are going to embarrass you in a way. I think at some point it's just part of the upbringing. And looking back at it now, even though I was mortified, I wouldn't have it any other way because now I can share this story with you. That embarrassing walk home taught me more about respect and consequence than any lecture ever could. And you know what? Years later, when people ask me about my memorable moments in high school as a kid, I can recall the parties, but this story, hands down, the night mommy showed up at the party, is one of my favorite stories. Thank you so much for listening to this special crossover episode of Voice Note Stories and Carry On Friends. Be on the lookout for new Voice Note Stories episodes coming sometime this summer. And as I love to say at the end of every episode, walk good.